All right. So now it's setting it up. And then at the top, it'll say that we're live as soon as it gets.
Yeah, it says live on Facebook. I can't, you got to show me how to do this.
Okay, I will.
So this is True Confessions. We got to start True Confessions.
Okay.
This is
So
my
we
first
just,
Facebook Live, and it's with
yeah.
you, Colleen.
So everyone, hi, you know me, I'm Colleen Biggs, founder of Lead Up for Women, and that's why we're posting on our page, Lead Up for Women, and I'm joined by the beautiful Susan Dane Setin. Do you just go by Susan Setin, Susan Dane?
When I make reservations, it's always Susan Dane.
Okay.
Because Susan Stetton comes out Susan Stein after I spell it. And so it's just Susan is great for today, Susan Dane.
Okay, perfect. And so Susan is the founder of Smart Women Rising, and her and I met through a friend, Roger, several months back and have been doing business together. She's been on our radio show a couple months ago. And so we've just continued our partnership. And for those of you that are our close community and follow us in our newsletter, you would have seen that we made an announcement on New Year's Eve about all of the fun upcoming events and partnerships that we have in 2020. And that was a snippet. I'm just going to put that out there. This was just a snippet of what we have coming in 2020, because after I sent that newsletter, I thought this newsletter could have been a mile long with what we have planned, but I wanted to kind of get the bigger pieces out there. And I'm super excited about this opportunity and I made this suggestion to Susan, hey, since you're so excited about it, I'm going, Dee Dee's going, hopefully Gelly's going. We have a lot of people that are in the community of Lead Up for Women already going. Why not let's do a Facebook Live and get it out there for all of the community of Lead Up for Women, and so that they can hear about this wonderful opportunity to go to Dubai as well. So Susan, welcome.
Thank you. And it was such a great idea to do a Facebook Live. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet.
It's going to end up like practically being the Lead Up for Women in Dubai if we keep going. It'll be the Colleen Big Show. She takes it to Dubai. What can we say?
No. You know, we're just the organization. And so the way I see it is the Lead Up for Women is just an organization of bringing powerful women and like-minded women together so that we together can elevate each other. And so if every woman that's on the trip is a member of Lead Up for Women, awesome. That just goes to show you the caliber of the women that we have as part of our community that are there and believe in lifting other women and believe in change. And that's what you stand for, Susan. And that's the biggest thing that I want to discuss on today's Facebook Live is, ladies, if you are looking for change in 2020 in your life, and in the lives of others, and in the world as a whole, this is a trip for you. So if you are looking to be able to be part of the blueprint that's written for what women and our status looks like in 2020 and beyond, 2021 to, you know, pretty much in the next decade, this is a trip you want to consider going on, especially if you're looking to go global. So Susan, I would love for you to share a little bit about the trip. Now, what I would like you to do, if you're able to, if you're not, I will share my screen, and then I can go ahead and go to your website and I can click on each page, or you can share yours and then you can click on it and discuss it so that everyone can see all of the beautiful photos and to kind of discuss how long it is, what everyone can expect, why a woman would want to go on this. So you let me know how you want to do that.
I think I can share. Should we try it?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So first, I just want to say before I do screen share is that what you were just saying about why you created Speak Up for Women and what it stands for and what it not just stands for, but is standing for. It's the perfect lead-in to this trip because it really is by women, about women, for women. And it is for people who either have some global experience but would like to enlarge their footprint, or who just have been bursting at the seams and dying to, but where to start? A lot of people start with London because they speak English, and there's already a lot of conferences there. But Dubai is the marketplace for the coming decade, if not the century. And I've got tons of things to share about it. I've had my sights on it for years. And then this past year, 2019, my husband and I had an opportunity to do a couple of consulting gigs in Saudi Arabia, which was an amazing opportunity because women cannot get in there easily for that type of work. I mean, just to be there, you can't get a travel visa or a tourist visa.
Right.
So it was an amazing experience. I've studied Arabic off and on for like maybe since my 20s, never mastered that one. I speak a few languages, but I just love that culture. I'm fascinated because it's the hub of so much. And it is such a deciding factor for the coming century. The Mideast obviously has been for so long. So it's a very exciting center, exciting center of the globe. And Dubai has taken this century by the reins, by the horns, I should say. And what they're doing with it is too exciting. And that's what the website is designed to share, so people can really get a sense of it. And I'm so excited for this report. I'm really thankful that you are someone who catches the vision of everybody. You know what I always say about you, you have this enormous space, your business is space, and it ties in perfectly with what I'm going to share about the trip, because this trip is about creating a new space for women of heart who are ambitious in their global platform. So I'll click share and let's see what we start with. So there we go. Share. So we'll go back. That's the first shot right there. See if I can go to full view. Let me just see if I can go to full view. Hold on. Enter full screen. That'll be better. And there you are. Look at you over there on your holding image.
Oh, I had to stop my video because I'm trying to turn off my fan behind me because it's bugging me. So
good. Well, Dubai really is this amazing. Now you've just got to imagine if you had almost unlimited money and you were, sort of a 50-year-old country, what would you do with it? Most countries, one reason America, of course, the United States just sped ahead of the entire world was we were the newest country. We were the newest country with any wherewithal. And Dubai is not a country, it's a city in the United Emirates, a very, very small country, but it's their commercial capital. The actual capital is, just got a Skype in there, hold on. The actual capital is Abu Dhabi, and we're going to take a day trip there. So you see some images of Abu Dhabi. So it's a fascinating place because everything is brand new. Airport, roads, bridges, infrastructure, transportation, all the hotels are just building constantly. And they're not resting on their young laurels. In fact, they have set 2030 for the year for the whole country will be carbon free. And not the country, sorry, the city.
Wow.
And the airport, they set this goal in June, they announced it in June, would be single-use plastic free by January 1st. And January 1st, they have banned all single-use plastics in the airport, which is amazing. It's one of the busiest airports in the world. So the question is, of course, why Dubai? I've just sort of shared that. They've got everything. It's sophisticated, it's exotic, it's stunning, it's smart. And one of the fascinating things is 90% of its population is expats. So if you can imagine, if we're our people, some of our guests will be speaking in Dubai, but they're really, it's a great global jumping off place because everybody we're mingling with is really from all over the world. So it's not like we're going to just be with a tiny cluster of Emirati women. And Emirati women are something to sit up and take note about. We'll talk about them in a minute. And so what smart business in Dubai is, it's an 8-night, 7-day program that is a one-of-a-kind. It's 5-star deluxe, but it's a 5-star deluxe women's business working trip. So we're business women. We're there to get a lot done. I had to make a tough call on whether we were going to be on what we call the palms. I'll show you what the palms look like. This is the city, and then this is the Palms. But it's all resorts, it's all beaches, and man, I'd love to be there. But I had to say to myself, we will get the chance to put our feet in the sand and stroll along the beach and splash in the water. But this trip, we've got a lot to get done, as you'll see. So it's cultural immersion, it's international networking, speaking opportunities. And one of the big reasons I created this, just like you created Lead Up for Women, is to build sisterships that last a lifetime. So we have dedicated time every day where women get to share their biggest objectives for 2020, maybe biggest problem, a hurdle. It's all, everybody coming has to come to give. And as you know better than anyone, Colleen, in the giving we get.
Yeah.
And it's not to get, it's really the byproduct. We give to give. It's not we give because then we get secretly. It's just in giving, everything comes your way. I think maybe because we create the space. There's space for things to come in, right?
Yeah.
So what do you hear for yourself so far?
I'm excited. I'm excited about Dubai. I'm excited about their culture and their heritage and seeing the sights. But most of all, like I had told you the other day, Susan, for going on this trip to Dubai, I'm really excited to get to know other women in other countries, because I want to make sure that Lead Up for Women is including women of all cultures, of all language, and of every country, and wanting to ensure that our conversations are including them. And it's exciting for me to meet so many women and hear their stories. And I'm just over the moon excited to hear their stories.
You know, that's why I call Dubai the one-stop shopping, especially for women, is exactly what you said, because we're going to meet the women and hear their stories, and they're from all over. We call them a DMC, the Destination Management Company, the people who are putting all the tours together as I designed them. I was talking to someone in their company today from Spain. Excuse me. My coordinator is from France. One of the lead department heads is from Ireland. I mean, they are from all over. And that's just one company. So it's really like that. And so I'm calling this the one event. I know you're having other fabulous events that no one can afford to miss either. But in the sense of, it's definitely the only event in Dubai. It's definitely the event to Dubai they can't afford to miss. The dates are the April 13th through the 21st. And it is by invitation. I want to tell you just a little bit about Smart Women Rising. It's all here on the site, but we are a community of ambitious thinkers and leaders and spiritually minded women. And our main platforms are trainings, travel events, and the Sister Mind. So this trip is a little bit of an inaugural of global trips for Smart Women Rising. I've done many. I worked in travel for group and event travel for 15 years, and I took over 28,000 people on trips and events and corporate events to over 30 countries. So I've packaged and sold and opened trade show departments. So that's sort of my birth crib. And being able now to combine this with my vision that you and I have both shared, that's why it was such an instant click. Being able to combine this with creating spaces for women to meet other fabulous women from all over the world, it's just a dream come true. So I wanted to say why it's an invitation. There's opportunities on this page just to click the application. It's a very simple application, but we're going to end up with somewhere between 21 and 30 women. A lot of them don't know each other. And we just want to make sure this is what they're looking for, like what your focus is. And also so that, let's just say I have a whole bunch of women who really want to get to know those other women, then we're going to expand those meet and greet events and the speaking events so that there's more mixer time. Hey, it's our party. So we can adapt to who those women are. And I want to be able to say to people, because we'll have quite a bit of networking online before the actual departure date, so people will already know each other. And if I know what everybody's looking for, a little bit about their history, their goals for 2020, et cetera, then people can already know each other. We can connect them, and they'll have a chance to to already be friends as they, as they clear the air, as they clear customs.
Mhm.
So it's business tourism, it's girl time, it's networking. And we just want to make sure that we are providing what the women want and that they're going to be comfortable with this group. So I define it this way: they're women of the 21st century, meaning we've done our tracks. We've got some good progress, lots of mistakes, lots of good progress behind us. And this is our decade. This is the year that we spread our wings. We achieve that impact everybody's talking about. And the only way you do that is by influencing others and building them up. Influence to build. So people were asking me, like, how advanced do I have to be? How big is my network? For me, the first and most important is heart-centered and deeply caring. Good progress.
There you go. I'm just making sure that we're live.
Oh, good. So for me, the big thing is heart-centered and really deeply caring. Because if you build to the stars and you've got, 10,000 people, 100,000 people on your list, and that's not the first thing on your list, then it won't matter. It's just not right for this trip. Let me say it that way. And women who want to build a close community with like-minded women. And I'm not going to read this whole site. This is just an introduction, but hopefully enough to pique people's interest and to sort of whet their appetite, and lots to read and explore as we go on. And the last bullet right here, you want to help define the conversation, design the future. That is the tagline for Smart Women Rising. Because my premise is we can't design a new future if we're having the same conversations. If we're just trying to get a bigger piece of a pie that isn't working and has created countless systems of destruction for the entire planet, us getting a bigger piece of that pie isn't going to work. We need a new pie. We need a lot of new pies. And that comes through creating new conversations and new conversations about how to achieve the goals and the objectives that most people agree on already. It's not like a lot of women are saying, give me the power and we don't care about the forests. Most of us are saying the same thing, but we need new conversations to enroll everyone on the planet in our conversations. So that, I think, heart-centered and deeply caring, and you want to define the conversation and design the future. You are a woman who feels deeply called and wants to have impact on the 21st century. Yeah. And that definitely is your tribe.
I know I feel called for it.
You answered the call.
In the comments section, I just put the website link so that all of you can hop out over to the website after this, or utilize it as your link to get registered and learn more about it. So
that's great.
Yep.
So I truly know this is a once-in-a-life opportunity. My favorite trips I've created have always been out of my wildest dreams. If I could put countries or cities or camels and deserts together, what would they look like? And that's what this trip is. And when you're on the site, ladies, I'm just so excited to meet you, although I can't see you yet. All of these boxes have pop-ups. So there's 4 aspects to the trip, and each one has a small pop-up that you can explore at your convenience. We're going to see all the sights and wonders, so you really feel like you have a good grasp of what this tiny country, the Emirates, is all about. And it's women-centric cultural immersion. It's an international sister mind. These are the women we'll be meeting, et cetera. And there'll be speaking invitations and networking opportunities. You don't have to be a speaker, and we do have limited speaker spots because this is not just a speaker's junket, so you can go get the video, et cetera, et cetera. We have all of those elements for sure. But again, it's not our priority to just give people, a social media handle that makes them look international. This is the first building block to really give you that foothold in the Mideast and possibly the whole world. But I do want to pop up on this one, women-centric cultural immersion. I'm not sure if you can see this, but when you were talking about really wanting to get to know these Emiratis and the Dubai women, it's amazing. The propaganda and the limit, I always call the United States the biggest island in the world. What we hear and what we get about foreign countries is so limited and so colored already with a political bias. And that's nothing to do with this administration or maybe any administration, it is the way Americans think. You know, I always think of the Dutch, the tiny little country of the Netherlands, and, you know, they're born speaking 4 languages and they don't even blink till they've got over 7. And we're all still trying to master English. But just a few of the fun facts is that female literacy in the Emirates is 95%, 95.8%. 70% of all university graduates are women. 25% of cabinet members and ministers are women. They have the youngest cabinet member or minister of any country. She's 22 years old. She graduated with a doctorate. She's the Minister of Youth and Millennial Affairs. And she's 22 years old. And she graduated with a doctorate already from Oxford in England. So these women are to be accounted for. 50% of their space program is women. And they have the highest number of women on Forbes' most powerful women, of the first 100 most powerful women in the Mideast. So as I say down here, we are definitely going to be meeting some very smart women. And here's that little apply here now button. I'll just show you what happens when you click on it. It just takes you to a real simple form, and there's simple questions, but they do have all the contact information we need. And then we get right back to you and just have a little conversation and see if it's all a-okay. So, you know, it's like, what are your objectives?
About that, Susan, I think it's important that because, you know, for my sanctuary events that I have, and you touched on it a little bit, and I have 5 of those this year that are local, right, in the United States.
I saw that you've taken your lunches and you've grown them into sanctuary events. It's so spectacular.
Yeah, we're just going to the next level. We're going to continue to do meetups around the United States, but this will take it to the next level. And, you know, and spend multiple days with women under one roof, just like we're going to be spending multiple days, you know, a week with women here in Dubai. Talk a little bit about why you did an application process, because I think an application process is so important, so that the women that are applying for my events really understand the event, are the right candidates for the event, and will get a lot of value out of the event. I want to make sure it's a great fit. What was your reason for doing the application for
exactly that
business?
And because the focus is so much on business, your sanctuaries have a lot of learning possibilities, and you bring in experts. And so it's clearly an education-driven experiential event, right? But when you start talking travel to someplace exotic, you know, we've invited a guest host, which is a very exciting aspect of this trip. She's not really a host; she's now an honored. She was going to be a host; she's an honored speaker, and she's a former ambassador to the United States on international religious freedom. I'll tell you about her in a minute. But she was at an event in Washington over Christmas, and she said she was met a woman who had just come back from a $20 million wedding in Dubai, and she loved Dubai. I was like, great, I'd love Dubai too if I went to a $20 million wedding. That's not our crowd. This is not an event you can buy your way into. And I know yours are not either, but this has Dubai has a glitz to it. It could be easily, somebody could love the idea, they could love the idea of going to Dubai, and they can, as long as they have that heart-centered wanting to share and build a community of women. They don't all have to be speakers or anything like that. And maybe their entrepreneurship is a part-time thing. That's okay too, but it's not a trip you can buy your way into. And so I don't ask what they're, or anybody applying, I don't ask how much they're bringing in revenues or their expansion plans. It is a business trip, but it's to build business and business connections. So I'm totally with you that, you know what I think the magic happens like any mastermind. We're calling them sister minds. That's the mastermind revisited. And I think the magic happens in the space. So when 2 people, like when you and I came together, we talked for 2.5 hours, I think the first time by phone. And it's because when 2 people come together, there's a space between them. And when they're both listening, that space just expands. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for listeners with space. because when people listen to each other, so much happens instead of I got to talk, right?
Yes, beautifully said. So, women that are out there listening, if that fits you and you want to experience this type of trip, and you have that heart that's centered for wanting to be able to listen and understand and define the futures, this is a trip that's right for you. So, you're doing a wonderful job explaining it. If you want to
Yeah,
go on and tell us a
I
little bit
will. And I was just going to have
more,
one other thing. Since we're appealing to women who have a sense of calling,
yeah,
and by the time you're 45 and up, you've got a few things to share. So
yeah,
that's also where the listening is so important, because we're just bursting at the seams. Sometimes our enthusiasm is so pure and generous
yeah,
that it's not just like sit and listen. If I'm talking, I'm not giving. But
right.
the more we listen and the more space we give, the more accurate is our share.
Yep.
So this is the fun part that everybody can explore on their own. It's 7 days, 8 nights of life transforming wonder. And it truly is. It is hard to find a bad photo of Dubai. And every day we've created an extraordinary collage of experiences. I'll share 1 or 2 days just to give people the flavor. This is just the airport because everybody will fly out of the States on the 12th in order to arrive there on the 13th. And most flights arrive in the evening. So that's why it's just a,
And that's April 12th for any
yes, April 12th. Thanks again. Yeah, April 12th. So we meet and greet on the 12th. And
right?
I'm sorry, you fly out on the 12th. And there's tons of flights, direct flights, many from all of the major departure points in the United States: Chicago, Atlanta, New York, uh, Washington, D.C., Miami, San Francisco, Los Angeles. Those are the ones I've checked. So there's great flight options. It's a long trip. And just so you can find it, I'm sorry this is so small. We've tried to make it bigger without success, but this is the advance button, this lovely little red arrow. This site comes with instructions. Oh, and I should mention suggested itinerary. All these things will happen. We're calling it a suggestion itinerary because things will shift. I'm going over in the end of January to do a site inspection and nail everything down. So the agenda might shuffle a little bit, but this is not a promise, a shot in the dark promise. This has all been worked out and costed, and these things will be included, but they might be shuffled. This is the famous Atlanta hotel. It's an amazing hotel, hotel. And it's a huge shopping mall. They even have a ski resort in it. So you can have afternoon tea watching skiers come down their artificial snow slope. I mean, if money can buy it, Dubai thought of it.
Yeah.
And so, but we start in the old city, which I love. We're going to start in the old city. And I don't know Dubai, but I know Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. And the old city was the most, I've lived in France. I know old villages. The old city in Jeddah, in Jeddah, I had the most transformative experience ever. It's a quietude and a stillness where people still live. It's not abandoned or anything. I can't even describe it. It's like what they talk about, the silence in the desert night. It's a silence that is so deep. You're transported. So I'm so excited we're starting there. We'll take the old, what they call abras, they're water taxis, over to the souks, which I didn't have photo space for. But the souks, we have these amazing gold bazaars, the gold shops and the gold market and the spice market and the fabric market. And it's really beautiful. I have to apologize. I'm just on the other side of a bit of a bout, shall we call it, but I'm doing great. So forgive the raspy voice. And
Oh, you're doing just fine.
so this is day 2, and it's really our second day there. We call it day 3. But I wanted to share it because it gives you a sense of the kinds of meetings and women's organizations we'll be visiting. We'll have lunch at the cultural center. That's not pretty. And then the afternoon at spa. Since it's only our second day there, it's a very long trip over. We really want people to, this is women. So we have our girl time, and we'll have a 3-hour afternoon at the spa, and every woman gets a 1-hour spa treatment of her choice. And we are also, this is a very unusual trip this day. a very wealthy woman in Dubai created an art museum for women, for female artists. And we're going to get a tour by her, and hopefully we'll have some of the artists there to talk about their work. And so every day is uniquely designed. And a collage, as I said, of experiences no other trip is offering, and you can't find anywhere else. What do you hear in some of this? Did you get a chance to look at the itinerary at all?
Yes, I did. And I mean, I look at these, and if you want to click on day 5, what I love about the itinerary that you have here, just to show them some photos, is you've combined the really being able to see the wonders there and the sights, and really immersing ourselves into their culture. But there's so many pieces of not just the bonding that we're going to have together and the pampering that we're going to have. So many different ways for us to meet different women in different areas of Dubai.
Yes, in different facets, different activities. Exactly.
Yep. Love it. Love it.
This is one of their malls, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what they call the palm. The Atlantic Hotel is on that palm. They built a palm leaf of land as part of the city because they didn't have any room.
Yeah.
And I have to share this. This is our, I haven't done this much talking. I'm so sorry. This is our all-day trip to Abu Dhabi. This is one of the largest, sorry.
Just like Sex in the City, that's where they went. The girls did.
I remember.
Yeah.
That show didn't do that justice, but yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got 80 domes. It's one of the most amazing structures. Yeah. And we have a half-day summit that we're creating, where we will invite women in.
Yeah.
So this goes into what's included, just about everything. Few things aren't that are normal, like airfare. And this is our early bird promotion.
To be able to, now this includes everything that we talked about, except for flights, right? So flights.
What's not included is on the right side. It's a very short list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Airfare, insurance, single room supplement, personal expenses, alcohol. And we've left 2 dinners and 1 afternoon on their own to explore.
Yeah. As you can see,
this is horrible. I'm so sorry.
Airport transfers are taken care of. Yes. Summit, all the excursions.
All gratuities too. I hate it when you have, I've seen it many times. They say everything's included and gratuities are included, but the creator, the designer of the trip didn't include the gratuities for the guides or the bus driver. And then there's this conundrum at the end of every trip. Do we tip? Do we not? All gratuities are included. And since I earned my living this way, we're generous tippers.
That's great. That's wonderful.
That's alcohol served in restaurants.
Yeah.
A lot of restaurants don't have it, but in the in most of the restaurants there are. And but we're not covering the alcohol because you just don't know how much somebody drinks, and alcohol is expensive in Dubai.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have our early bird promotion. We're really excited about it. It'll go through January 15th, and we've already sold 4 seats.
That's wonderful.
So it's just sort of get the trip off the ground, and we encourage everybody to apply soon. And we consider the applications on a first come, first served basis, obviously, but the essential issue is that we're matched. But when those 10 are gone, and those are the first 10 we're looking for, they're gone.
Yeah.
And this, for what we're offering, I should say, that is the actual price, is $6,500. The promotion is not the price, and then we raise it to penalize people who find it later. The trip is $6,500.
Right. So then you're getting $1,000 off if you jump on early. So if you are making the decision, if you want to go, figure that out before January 15th. But what you should do for sure is, in my opinion, is at least submit your application, and then start having the conversation with Susan if you have some deeper questions or would like to know some additional information, or unsure if this is the right event for you, applying is free. And then you can start having the conversations with Susan.
Exactly. And we are open to taking a deposit, and not a payment plan. We can't do that, but a deposit to hold your space while you work something out for a couple of weeks is very feasible.
Yeah. I think deposits are great. We do the same thing with our sanctuaries. You know, we do a $500 deposit, and then you can do, we do payment plans where you can do it based on, because ours are several of them throughout the year. But for this, I mean, you can kind of figure out your own payment plan in your head on how you want that to be.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's just a wonderful deal and a great way. I think if you went and you and I looked up flights the other day, and you know, flights to Dubai they're ranging anywhere from 800, I guess, or 6, 7, 800. They can get upwards if you wait until the end. You know, they're going to get more expensive.
I mean, if you're willing to make an extra stop or any of these things, they're really over the holidays, they were like 650, 850 round trip. And right now they're between 850 and 1100.
It's great. Yeah.
With one, actually some of the direct flights on Emirati's air. Now, if you want your points, then you're going to go on the airlines that have less favorite routes maybe, but Emirates airline has, I just checked this morning, 1,087 round trip, which is really a great price.
Right.
And so it's book early. And the other thing is the deposit gives people a chance to get their feet wet, really make that commitment.
Yeah.
And then see how they feel.
Well, that's the thing. If you look at this, so making the decision before January 15th, you wind up getting your flight for free.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah. So you can then you can grab your own flight, and then now you're booked in at the full price, but you also have your flight included in that, right? That you've went ahead and purchased yourself. So, Susan, any last
I just want to introduce our guest speaker because she's amazing. And she was appointed as ambassador of international religious freedom during the Obama era. She's coming on the entire trip. Her name is we call her Ambassador Sujay or Dr. Sujay, but Ambassador Suzanne Johnson Cook. With a read more biography, she has broken every glass ceiling possible for women, African Americans, and African American women. And she's a 30-year minister. She has an organization that is a 501c3, and it's dedicated to women of color who don't always have the chance to make a breakthrough onto stages. And she's created this opportunity for them, civic leaders, church leaders, community leaders. And she and I are going to be doing some touring in 2020 because we both have such a strong sense of diversity and the economy of inclusion versus the economy of exclusion. So she's amazing, she's lively, she's funny, and she's a very big aspect of this trip. And she will be a big aspect to groups over there being interested in meeting with us. Yeah. So we have some things. These are some early friends of yours who have already signed up. And my premise that our world is broken and it's counting on women to fix it. And that's what we're up to, and we can do it. Yeah. But we need to be smart. We need some new conversations. We need new models, methods. And this trip, like yours, Colleen, your programs and your sanctuaries, is exploring all of that. Yeah. And then it's just here. I say the trip starts when you sign up, so apply. And they can get in touch with me through you or directly through the application process. And again, I apologize for having that coughing fit. But
you're sounding so much better. If they heard you, last week, you're sounding so much better. So
yeah, we had to push back a little bit, and I don't go down easy, so it was really something.
Yeah.
But what I love, I think it's also part of the woman thing, One thing I didn't mention in the agenda, which you'll see in the itinerary, which is important, is every morning we have a breakfast meeting, which is our SMART meetup group. And that's the chance. I did mention there'll be opportunities, but it's every morning over breakfast. All the hotels have these huge 5-star buffets for breakfast, just huge buffets. But it's our chance to really get to know each other. And that's what I love, is being girls, we can cough and not feel great and forgot to do our hair or didn't have the energy or whatever. it changes everything when it's just women together, I think.
Yes. It does, and I think that the strategy of how you're putting this together, and just the different facets in which we'll be meeting women, how we'll have those discussions, and then how we'll be able to continue those discussions after afterwards. So, did you want to touch a little bit on that?
Well, Smart Women Rising, like you're like we have different formats because I don't have a radio show or something, but it's mostly trainings, and it's really about training. Specifically focused as a course I offer called the Causative Woman course. Causative Woman. I say it's for graduates of capability, graduates of capable. All of us women, by the time we're 45, 50, our resume could be, what's your problem? I can fix it. You know, what do you need me to do? I can figure out how to get it done. Is that right?
Yeah.
Women, I mean, it's just in our bones. It's just how we're
Lived
haven't done that. Say, well, I can figure it out for gosh
a lot
sake.
of wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the issue now is, of course, since so much of the conversation has been about doing more, doing better, doing bigger, doing faster, earlier, get up 2 extra hours early, you know, for set your goal. And I love all that. But now, of course, the next conversation is how do you do that and avoid burnout? And then there's time management. It's sort of like, oh, and don't forget to take care of yourself for gosh sake, and get to yoga and give back. And, you know, it's like the list just keeps growing. And
Yeah.
so Causative Woman is about how to be causative and create other people to be causative. So you actually get more done doing less. And you find your world accommodates the essence of who you are and your vision. And the more faithful we are to our vision, the more we allow the world, the more the world can respond in kind. The world says, oh, they're up to this. And the world just seems to dance with us. And when we're pushing our agenda, feeling it's on our shoulders, we're the only ones, not who can, but we're the only ones who can say what we have to say or whatever. We pay an enormous price. And it's time, we will not be able to really have the impact we're destined to have if we don't learn how to be more effective and causative. And that's not business management. This is something else. It's really soul-driven work. And things that have been in your way for a very, very long time. That's what my expertise is, on how to free women from that and free them to their bigger and their fullest.
Definitely a movement, you know, and for many years, you know, 2020 is about clarity. And there's a big push right now, and you'll hear a lot about it, which is about self-care and taking care of yourself. And for so many years, you know, the women as nurturers, we're naturally, you know, nurturers. We take care of everybody else first, and then we're left depleted with nothing left in our tank. And really, even to the point of forgetting our identity and who we are, and you know why we exist. And you know, so Lead Up for Women, and why we exist is so that women can understand that you're enough just being you. You know, you are enough just being you. And that's another reason why I'm excited about this trip, because like you said, you cannot buy your way into this. You do not have to be of a specific status level with what some title or generating a specific amount of revenue to go on this trip. And it's a trip where we can have women of several different statures coming together to be able to be in the space, to show up in the space, as I like to say it, and just be you, because that's how we learn from each other. I learned so much from you, Susan, because you're unapologetic for who Susan is when you show up. But I love that, because we shouldn't have to apologize for who we were created to be and what our unique skills and talents are. The world's just waiting for us to unleash them. So this is just another opportunity to unleash those skills and change somebody else's life too on this trip, because regardless, this ripple effect will go for far distance. It's like, throwing a rock in a lake and you watch the ripples go out. Now we're going into another country and I'm speaking my truths and what I stand for and who I am. People will listen just as the 20 other people on the trip will speak their truths and what they stand for. And we will all listen and learn from each other. And the women that we meet will listen and we'll learn from them. They're going to speak their truths to me. I'm going to listen and learn from them. And I just the trip alone, can we imagine the ripple effects and change that will be made, just conversations that we have with people.
You summed it up so well, and that's why literally you just summed up this page where we're on the screen share so well, because it's about touching the lives of thousands. And at first I thought, is that a little grandiose? You take 25 women who are all in some capacity leaders who are leading communities or ready to jump into it. You have an audience of many, many thousands, or even on the replays, for your radio show. And that's just you. So like, if only you and I go, Colleen, we're going to be touching the lives of thousands. So and there are two others, Didi Wong and Dr.
We should not underestimate our power. Exactly. And I believe up until this point, Susan, just to sum it up and close, is as women, we tend to underestimate the power we truly have. And I think we may be scared of it in a way, or not sure how to tap into it. So if this is something that you've been experiencing with, wanting more out of your life, wanting to expand, I love what you put here, expand your social impact. This is a trip for you. Being part of Smart Women Rising, being part of Lead Up for Women. It doesn't matter. So women may be sitting here going, I'm so confused. Why is Colleen promoting Smart Women Rising when it's a women's organization and she's a women's organization? Because we're different women's organizations, and you have to find your tribe. You have to find the tribe that's right for you. And there's several different women's organizations that we're all part of, and they bring you and satisfy a piece of what it is that we need. And so there is no competition. And I always stand for elevating and lifting. Susan has an event and she wants to be able to provide women an opportunity to go out of the country. Of course, I'm going to promote her on the exact same newsletter that I'm promoting my own events, and saying, hey, if you're going to be local and this is the type of event that you're looking for, I have that event for you. If you want to go to Dubai and you want to make a grander social impact, here is an opportunity that Susan has for you.
And I'll say this, you've said it so well, Colleen, with that exact same vision and freedom is why I can support women joining your organization, because it's what we offer, sort of why we don't have one congressperson, right? What we offer, our actual content of what we offer is so different. So you said it so well, and thank you for taking that stand for your women and for women. You just have that unique vision, and I call you, the space mistress, because you know that that when you create the space and the listening, I've been to your luncheon in Los Angeles, your love, it really comes from an open heart. It's your love. You create so much space, and what happens on your panels is magic. People discover things about themselves, about each other. They had no idea. You had no idea. I was there to witness it. Yeah. So I hope you're going to bring that fairy dust, that magic, and lots of space. It's like, don't pack a thing, just come with them.
We all have it though, we all have that fairy dust. We all have that magic and that inside of us. It's just a matter of, it usually takes something happening or someone else to help bring that out of us. And why not do it in a group of women that are all there to support each other? So thank you, Susan, for being with us today. Thank you for having Smart Women Rising and doing this Dubai trip. I'm extremely excited about it. If anyone has any questions, you can put them in the comments section. You can contact me directly.
Absolutely.
Contact Susan directly. I've put her, tagged her in the Facebook, so you can go to her Facebook and message her. You can find her on here, but I suggest everybody applies if you're even thinking about it, just so you can get the conversation started to see if it's something that's right for you. You know, websites are awesome and they're great sales pieces and they give us so much, but that conversation that you'll have with Susan will give you the additional pieces and understanding for you if you're just still on the fence.
You said it all.
Right.
Thank
All
you.
right, Susan.
Have
Thank
a
you
great
so much.
day. Bye,
All right.
everybody.
Bye.